name is Connie, and I'm an identical twin. I've been best friends with my twin sister Jessica for longer than I can remember. As children, we did all of the normal twin activities. We made up our own secret language, we merged our wardrobes and possessions, and we used our identical appearance to try to play pranks, which worked on everyone but our parents. I love being a twin. It means having a partner for life and never having to be alone. When I think about it, however, I spent more time apart from Jessica than I would have liked. Jessica always seemed to be ill, even as a young child. When I was a little girl, I didn't understand why my sister was always getting sent to the doctor. She didn't seem sick, and I knew that doctors were for sick people. Once I learned about germs, I would even try to catch Jessica's sickness by drinking from her glass or switching our pillows. I was never successful. Because of this, I have always felt like a big sister. I had to be protective of Jessica. And so, I never complained when Jessica got all the best toys. I tried hard not to be upset about all the attention Jessica received from her parents, who were so busy they barely had time for me at all. But, even as a little girl, I knew that my parents were important scientists who did important work. I was even able to keep my resentment in check when Jessica was sent to private school. I had to ride the bus to a regular school, while Jessica was driven to the fancier side of town every morning. But it didn't matter to me, not really. I had friends at my public school, and every evening I would be able to play with my twin sister. We would talk all about our days in our own secret language. Things got better after high school. I was delighted when Jessica turned down her acceptance to an Ivy League school. Even though our parents were furious, we shared a dorm room at the state school which I had gotten into. We took the same classes, went to the same parties, and walked together at graduation. When our parents died in a terrible car accident, we mourned together. I can't imagine having made it through without Jessica. We moved into the old family home after that. It took a while, but eventually we helped each other move on. We re-entered the world, we found jobs, we went on double dates. Through it all, we remained best friends. But everything changed for me on our 30th birthday. Our gift to each other was a plane ticket to Paris. We would finally be able to take our dream vacation. Neither of us had ever been out of the country before, which meant we needed passports. In the process for applying for mine, I put in a request at the Department of Records for my birth certificate, but I was in for a nasty surprise when it arrived. I noticed something very strange. It was my name and birth date, but the rest was all wrong. No father was listed at all, and there was a stranger's name printed where my mother should have been. Worse still, their certificate record a single birth. Nothing about twins. I knew it had to be a mistake. I called the records office, but they denied any impropriety with the certificate. I tried to track down the mysterious woman on the certificate, but to no avail. Without telling Jessica, I even drove to the Hospital of Records and questioned the administrators. Their search confirmed all of the details on the official birth certificate. For the first time in my life, I was starting to doubt myself. I wasn't sure if I was doubting my identity or my sanity, but it had to be a mistake. This was crazy. We look exactly alike. One night, I surreptitiously swabbed the rim of Jessica's water glass. I sent it to a lab that did DNA analysis. I even paid extra for an expedient processing. The results showed that our DNA matched, identical twins. I was relieved, but still deeply confused. The Department of Records and the hospital had to be wrong. I knew it, and I would prove it. Somewhere in this house, probably in the attic, amidst our parents' boxes of papers and files, was my real birth certificate. I knew it had to be there. I took the day off from work. I didn't feel too bad lying to my boss about being sick, but I felt uniquely terrible lying to Jessica. I just didn't want her to have a deal with any of this until I had more answers. Hours passed as I sorted through the dusty contents of the attic. Massive reams of paper and old computer printouts were stored in boxes. Mostly the attic contained years of research notes and old journals, but eventually I found a stack of boxes dedicated to family papers. It seemed my parents had kept every drawing, every piece of homework, and every report card from our school days. It was touching, but I kept digging. Finally, I reached the end of the pile. No birth certificate. But then I saw it, a small, fireproof lockbox. I pried it open with a screwdriver. Inside were some old papers, a leather-bound journal, and an old Polaroid photograph of us as babies. I sifted through the papers, and triumphantly, I located it, my birth certificate. But it wasn't what I was hoping for. It precisely matched the one from the records office and hospital. No father, a stranger for a mother. Jessica's was in the box as well. I looked it over. Both our parents' names were printed in the appropriate fields, but it was too listed as single birth. With tears filling my eyes, I picked up the baby photo. We were so young, newborn, sound asleep. I turned over the Polaroid and noticed an inscription written in fading ink. Jessica and Control, 1986. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.